Okay, the next skill relates to not cutting things parallel. If you want to cut a tapered piece, then you have to actually mark your measurements. So in this case, we'll mark one end of the tapered piece will be 70 mils. So again, not with pencil, but with your knife, we'll put a mark. And the other end of the tapered piece will only be 50 mils. And again, we'll mark with a knife. Now, the rule, what you do is you put the knife in the bottom mark, and then you hold the ruler against the knife at this point, and you rotate the rule until it lines up with the top mark, and you hold it. If you don't do this, if you put pencil marks and you're trying to align both ends, every time you move one end, the other end moves. So if you do it this way, you've got one fixed point, you only have to look at one end of the ruler until it's correct. Then you hold your finger on the ruler and the material and cut. And it should go through both those marks, and you'll feel it as you cut and know that you're correct. So, one more time, make your mark at the bottom, rotate the top until it's correct, it meets the top mark, and then cut through. I have two other tools to show you. These are more specialised tools, but will actually make your work a lot easier. The first one is a vernier caliper, which is an accurate measuring device. You move the vernier caliper like this, and you get measurements which you can read off the scale very accurately. But also you end up with the same measurement at these points, and that allows you to set measurements and use them like a divider. So if I have a piece of material and I want to accurately set 60 millimeters, instead of using the ruler, by putting the dividers down like that, one against the edge, I can make a little mark with this tip, and I can do the same thing up here, and I know they're exactly right because I haven't changed anything here. So, likewise, if I've cut a piece of material, I can measure it accurately, and I get rid of the chance of misreading. I can see that that piece is 40 millimeters all the way along by putting it in there. So this is very helpful. The next device, or the next tool, is a pea cutter. And the pea cutter is designed for cutting harder plastics, things that you can't cut with a knife. A lot of you will spend a lot of time and money getting acrylic laser cut, and often the shapes are relatively simple. So with a pea cutter, you can cut acrylic at home. So again, you need your rule. The pea cutter has got a little hook shape on the bottom edge here, and what we want to do is run it across the plastic against the rule. It's very similar to glass cutting. So you hold the pea cutter nice and low, don't press too hard, draw it across the material, and if it's cutting nicely, you'll get this little curl of plastic off. Now, this piece of acrylic is quite thick, so I need to do it more than once. So that's 3 cuts. You have to turn it around, make sure your cut goes all the way through. Otherwise you can split at the end. And then we put our thumb right under the mark and we bend it. And it will crack along that line, and you get a nice clean cut. There's a couple of little dags there that I need to sand off, but that's much quicker than doing a laser cut file and then sending it to the laser.